Okay, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Let me make sure there's not an echo. Yeah. Let me check the sound. Yeah. So we're good. All right. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Started up about 5 minutes late. Uh, what's up, Jack? Danny? Yeah, man. Windows Update decided to start like right after I had everything set up. I had the stream set up. Windows Update started, forced the update this morning. Very frustrating. It's probably my fault for I kept hitting ask me later, and then it just said screw it. It's gonna force it. But watching a few stuff here. We got AMD gapping up. We have MU gapping up much more. TLRY, CGC, some cannabis stocks moving. We have Cron, another cannabis stock. CLVS is up in pre-market. We have Roku, which is kind of break even, down a little bit. Same thing with AXSM, down some. We have NBEV, which is up a little bit. SPY is moving up nicely. But all right, so how's everybody doing? What's up, Chase, Netron, Wrestling? All right, so yeah, again, we're going to be testing that opening range breakout strategy again today on AMD. We'll see how it goes today. I think, like I said yesterday, I think a lot of it depends on the SPY. We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to continue to test it. You can see even if we just test it here, right? Even if we just test this 5-minute opening range breakout here, you can see how much how accurate it is just in the last week or so. Was definitely successful yesterday. I don't know if I'd call that a success. Definitely successful here. Definitely successful here. Definitely successful here. So, out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, only one out of 5 days didn't work for this strategy on AMD. I'm wondering how much of it is the current market state. Like if the market changes like it's been doing, if this strategy will continue to work. And like I said, I back tested it over a 3-month time span, and it was pretty accurate over a 3-month time span. So at least in the last 3 months, it's been viable. But we'll see what we get moving forward. Just got to continue to test it. On Telegram. What are you talking about, Jack? Telegram stocks. Don't know what you mean, bro. Two-way stock futures were indicating a slightly higher open on Wall Street after the Dow and S&P 500 both notched their first 3-day win streak since November. Interesting. Yeah, I kind of do the opposite, Luke. Like, what I do is, like, I look for, excuse me, I look for overhyped penny stocks and look for ridiculously overextended moves, and then, and then just let them fall. I just buy put options on them and let them drop. Had mixed results with it. But yeah, I also keep a track of MU, and the cool thing, guys, I posted a community post about it yesterday. But if you guys remember, sorry, I think my voice is going out a little bit. If you guys remember what I was talking about yesterday with the strategy, I talked about how every day with the testing of the opening range breakout, that I'm going to sell it at noon market time, and the reason I had that kind of thought process. It wasn't just me. Eric thought the same thing. Mitch thought the same thing. And so our kind of consensus was that a lot of times these stocks reverse at noon market time. And you can see this is noon market time. And just a beautiful example of what we meant by it. You know, you can see right at around that time, AMD broke the VWAP and continued up and reversed really big here. And so yesterday I ended, I think it was about a $1,100 gain with 200 shares, but I really wanted to test it with 1,000 shares. And so with really wanted to test it with 1,000 shares, so it would be about $600 in gains yesterday. You can see here if I open this up. We'll figure it out later. But yeah, first day went well. We'll see if today goes well as yesterday. ENPH not moving that much. EPZM, HUYA. Just looking at what's on my scanners here. VALE, ERX. VALE and ERX are both up. Very low volume though. But like I said, the big movers are kind of CGC and TLRY. Those are both up a ton yesterday and definitely moving a lot in pre-market. Right, that's exactly the thought process we had, Danny, is that a lot of times the volume slows down right around noon. The stock may be a little bit exhausted, especially if it was like AMD yesterday where it made a big move and then you know, it starts to reverse around noon, volume starts to dry up. It was just really good to see that, you know, the thesis that I had with this was correct in that it continued and that it reversed right around noon and the trade idea worked. And so, like I said, I'm just going to continue to work it and see, continue to test it and work it and see what happens with it. Hey, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it, brother. PSTI two-way. Yeah, it's moving some. Oh, wait, somebody asked me something. Too much nicotine on your vape pen, man. Drink more water. Yeah, I think I just need some coffee. Brian, yeah, I'll get you if you want the trade ideas link. I'll get it for you, bro. Hold on. You want the trade ideas and not trade net one, right? Here, this is trade ideas. Just posted the link there. Yeah, hit bill was passed. That was a week or two ago though, wasn't that when it was passed? Chris, Go-Go. I like Go-Go. Typically Go-Go moves a lot. Used to be tradable. I don't know if it still is. It's gapping up okay. It's just low volume. And it's not tradable. They removed it. That sucks. What's up, Bramo? Good morning. Good morning. Oh yeah, Snaptrade's pretty good, Jack. They're a previous sponsor of mine, but really cool company. I know the guy that runs it, one of the co-founders of it. His name's Ben. He stops by on the stream sometimes. Pretty cool company. Makes things really easy. They also have a link to the earnings counter. We can check out Snaptrade. They also have a link to the earnings calendar. That's pretty cool. Check this out. I do like this of it. Nice. So yeah, Snaptrade did add that. That's pretty cool. They added a link to earnings calendar on their site, and so it shows when earnings are coming out for these specific stocks and the change percentage, stuff like that. So that's cool. I'm trying to go long on ADIL. I feel like it's setting up for all new highs. Thoughts on ADIL? Just the intraday volume looks low, but the daily chart doesn't look bad. The daily chart looks good. It's kind of it pulled back, had its first green day, and so the daily chart looks pretty good. The intraday volume looks pretty slow, but overall the daily chart doesn't look bad for ADIO. ACB, I haven't looked at ACB in a while. A big red day yesterday. What's up, Pat? Good morning. It seems like ACB projected profits are far above any cannabis company, and yet their stock keeps tanking. Any reason? Let's see here. You think AXSM is done? Probably. I think it may quietly fade down, but I might be biased. I have a put option on it. And so maybe I'm, like I said, a little bit biased on it. Let's look up some news here. So first one, we have TLRY and CGC. Cannabis plays. TLRY, CGC, both up a lot yesterday, and in pre-market today, they're both up. Let's look up CGC first. Canopy Growth Company is CGC. All right, so Constellation Brands tumbles as Canopy Growth Investment hits the fiscal year profit forecast. So the Corona beer maker Constellation Brands Incorporated, the shares in that stock are down 13% at 151.30 pre-market. The fiscal year adjusted profit forecast was cut due to higher freight costs and expenses related to its $4 billion investment in the pot maker Canopy Growth Company, so CGC. The company sees the fiscal year adjusted EPS to be between $9.20 and $9.30 versus the forecast of $9.60 and $9.75. But yeah, it's all due to that $55 million investment expense related to its Canopy Growth company investment that it made. What's up, Mike? Yo. What's up, brother? Yeah, no stress, Carisha. No worries. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, our idea, with the SPY is like, if you look at it and you look at the daily chart specifically, right around this area where it's at now, it could be running into resistance. Right around either here or all the way up to 262. It may have some resistance above and see if it comes back down to these lows. Who knows? I mean, I kind of want the market to do well, so I kind of hope I'm wrong. But it does have some resistance above it now on the SPY, and so we'll see if that starts to turn back around. CEI, if you like these cheaper pity stocks, is moving. Did look bad for CEI. I really doubt it's tradable, but doesn't look bad. No, it's not, unfortunately, which was to be expected. FTI up. CHK up a little bit. VIRT, which is Virtu Financial, is up. Low volume though. SBRFS is up. What is this, an ETF? That's tradable. Also looking at Roku in relation to the tech stocks. Roku is down from 40.88 to 40.43, so it's down about what is that, 45 cents. So we'll see where this one goes. Very interesting as well. SBS popping up on the scanners. It's gapping up some, but no volume. PBR, Brazilian oil stock, I believe, or natural gas stock. It's up a little bit. Low volume still. Also, CLVS is moving some in pre-market. CLVS. I can look up the news on that one in a minute. Okay, look at TAL. TAL spiked up some, but it doesn't look like it followed through much. I'll watch it. Look up CLVS news. They had a third big merger in the last month, but that was a few days ago for CLVS. Nothing really today. Okay, so we got a few people asking me about brokers. Brian asked, what do I think of CMG? Oh, wait, maybe he means the stock CMG? You mean Chipotle, Brian? Or do you mean CME Group, the broker? Do you have any opinion on Trade Zero US? Wait, Trade Zero is opening up an option for US customers? When did that come out? Or have they always been on? I know one of them they don't let US brokers. But the truth is, with all of them, with both CME Group and Trade Zero, I just never used them, so I can't vouch for or against them. Interesting. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Kyle. I think that Trade Zero has had one for a while, but they had trouble when they first opened, if I remember right. Yeah, I've never used them. I think with Trade Zero, I've heard bad things. With CME Group, I've heard decent things. But I've never used either one of them, so I can't really vouch for if they're good or bad. Appreciate the sub, Felix. Welcome, brother. Appreciate it. For scanner, are you looking for high gainer or high volume volatility? Both. I have a scanner for high gain penny stocks. I have a scanner for high of the day breaks, volume, breakouts with volume. So I have a scanner for kind of all of it. Kind of a slow day right now. VALE is up. LEN. I know Lennar. As a real estate agent, Lennar, if this is the same Lennar that I'm thinking of, it's a new home builder. I've worked with Lennar in the past on real estate deals. I think it's probably the same one. What's up, man? From Germany. That's cool. What do I think of the Chipotle stock? Uh, I mean, here's the thing. It's a little bit too expensive for me. Just a little bit too expensive. All I can really do is look at the daily chart. I think this is kind of a crucial level for it. Just per the daily chart, I think that at 500, which is kind of a big round number, it's had multiple resistance areas. Like if you look at the daily chart here, 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 and so support here. And so I think it's had a lot of support and resistance at this $500 level, and I think that's the big level to watch it to see if it tests that area. But like I said, it's a little bit too expensive for me. Hey, appreciate the $5 donation, Mike. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. Awesome for the support, man. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Mike with the $5 super chat. Thanks, brother. That's cool. Thanks, man. Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, I try, man. I try to put in some work, you know. Good to see some people appreciate it, so thanks, bro. Yeah, so Carisha, my comment may have gotten lost. How do you determine how much of a float is short? Everywhere I look, numbers are different and don't seem to update quickly to get a feel for sentiment. I mean, they have a short percentage that you can look up, but I think like you're saying, they're all different. Where do you see the short float percentage on? They have the float here, you know, but they don't have the short float. This is just shares, you know. So the float on GoGo is 57 million. Good morning, Felix. What's up, bro? Oh, on each stock's window. Let's see if I can get that. Let me look. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get the stock window up. I'll have to look that up later. We got about 14 minutes until the open. What's up, Kawa? I bought a couple puts on it thinking it was overextended Monday and it just went stop ripping. On Chipotle, yeah, man. I mean, it just reversed, you know, yesterday on Monday. What was Monday? The 7th, right? Yeah, it did rip on Monday. Check out Two Ways Watchlist, CEI. ATOS. CEI doesn't look bad. ATOS looks good as well. Both of these, all of these are penny stocks that I probably can't trade. But I used to love trading these. ANFI doesn't look bad either. Yeah, that's kind of what I used to look for, is like these moves in the penny stock world. MRIN. That one might be tradable. And that one doesn't look that bad either. Let me see. Only thing is volume. And MRIN is still tradable. I might add that one to my watch list. It doesn't look terrible. So appreciate that. Two-way. But yeah, overall, I mean, especially like, you're not seeing that many huge gaps. I mean, you have CGC, you know, TLRY. CGC is gapping up from 29.64 to 30.40, so about $1 is what it's gapping up. TLRY is down some, but had a big green day yesterday. Kind of went against the market for the most part, but again, it kind of shows the thesis that we had on noon, because if you look at this one, right at noon market time was right here. Was like exactly when it started to reverse and head back up. And so really interesting there. Kind of shows why we use that in our strategy that I'm testing right now. Yeah, no stress, Carisha. Yeah, I'll try to once kind of the trading day is done. I'll try to look that up and see, and try to answer that for you. Any plans for earnings season? Just hopefully we get some big moves and stuff to watch with earnings season. Appreciate the sub, Juan and Trevor. Thanks, guys. Welcome, brothers. Appreciate it. But yeah, one thing that was cool, and Snaptrade actually didn't sponsor this part, but Snaptrade just added an earnings calculator to their platform, which is pretty cool. You can look up here at the top right menu, and you can see earnings calendar. And so actually pretty cool that they added an earnings calendar to follow here. Today it looks like we have a few stocks in here. We'll see if we get some moves today. But pretty cool for Snaptrade to put that in. I think that's a good idea. LABU. What's up, Isaac? Good morning, man. LABU is an ETF. What's it an ETF of, Rommel? What's the underlying asset of the ETF? Biotech. It's a biotech ETF. Interesting. But yeah, again, like I said, that 11 o'clock market time really kind of confirmed that trade idea. Right at 11 o'clock, it started to reverse. Really, it worked really well on AMD yesterday. I was able to get out right here at 11, right before that big move up. Really nice, profitable trade there. V and E's up as well. But yeah, the overall market is, last time I looked at it, it was up. It's up again today. We'll see what we get. I mean, it could easily reverse. It's just I'm gonna watch it for a little bit. See what we get. What's up, Troy? So are you talking about with the opening range breakout strategy, the video I posted yesterday? Is that what you're talking about, Troy? I'm assuming that is. But yeah, if you are talking about the opening range breakout, yeah, so the basic strategy is just buying it once it breaks that high or low. So right, so you document the way you approach it. You'll see how I trade it today, but the way you approach it is you document the high and the low of that first candle. The high and the low, and then once it breaks that high or low, that opening range on that first 5-minute candle, you would buy it if it broke the high or low, like right when it breaks. I'm sure you could approach it with waiting for it to close or open above that price level. Maybe get a little bit better results. So it might be something that I start testing on it as well. But the way I've just been approaching it is just buying it when it breaks that high or low. Here or here. So Daniel had a question. He said, beginner trading, I watched your video on the top 3 no pattern day trade brokers, no PDT brokers. Do you still believe U-Stock trade is the best for people in PDT trying to avoid it? Best is subjective. I think that they all have their benefits. It just depends. It really depends on what you're trying to do. So like, this is my thoughts on it, right? I think that they all have their benefits. I think that U-Stock trade is really good if you're only a long bias trader, because you can't short on U-Stock trade. I think it's good for long traders that are going to trade small sizing with cheap commissions. U-Stock trade probably has the cheapest commissions with no PDT rule. Out of all the brokers that have no PDT rule, U-Stock trade has the cheapest commissions with $1 per trade. Now, with that said, there's no leverage. You can't go short in a trade on U-Stock trade, and their platform is very minimalist. At the same time, is it worth it? It's all relative. It all depends. It depends on what you're trying to do. I think if you're a long bias trader that's trying to learn and just kind of trying to get some trades under his belt, I think U-Stock trade is a good option. The biggest flaw with U stock trade is that they limit certain stocks, they restrict certain stocks, and they label them limited liquidity, and so you can't trade certain stocks. And a lot of times they're the big movers on that particular day, and so if you know that's one of the biggest flaws with it. The fills, at least when I used it, weren't great, but it usually didn't matter that much because I was trading small size and the commissions are so cheap that even though you're getting worse fills, it's still going to be a cheaper trade than it would be on another broker that has more expensive commissions, if that makes sense. And so like the difference with the spread and getting filled at a little bit worse spots, it was still relatively minor just because the commissions were so cheap. Now something like SureTrader is good, really good platform to learn on. I love the DOS platform. But SureTrader is expensive. But you can short most penny stocks. You can trade most penny stocks. And, really good platform. But it's pretty expensive. Commissions are expensive. Platform's really expensive. It's like $150 a month. And they take it out of your account. And so it's like if you're going to start on SureTrader, I think you have to just kind of jump right in using bigger sizing. And I think you kind of have to... like I said, jump right in using bigger sizing and have a little bit larger account with SureTrader, I think, just because, it's a little bit more expensive. TradeNet, I like TradeNet because I can short anything that's tradable. I don't really trade penny stocks, but, one of the big flaws with TradeNet is that certain penny stocks are not tradable. Most penny stocks are not tradable, I would say. But the commissions are cheaper. They're cheaper than SureTrader. And if I want to trade small sizing with a good platform on TradeNet and be able to short with leverage, I can do that, and it's pretty cheap. And so that's why I like TradeNet. But they all have their pros and cons. They're all good for different things, and it really just depends on what you're specifically looking for. Correct, Troy. Very simple strategy, but like I said, even if you look at the last 5 days on AMD, like even if you look at the last 5 days, right, it was successful 4 out of those 5. So like you look here, it was successful yesterday. The day before it wasn't successful, so that's 1, and it was close even on that day. But the day before that, it was successful. The day before that, it was successful. The day before that, it was successful. So every 4 out of 5 days just in the last week of trading have all been successful with this strategy on AMD. So it's looking pretty good. I use Schwab. They have a T2 cash settlement, so I trade half of my account each day, keeping me from over trading, and I can trade every day, but I can't short because I'm not on margin. So there's that. Yeah, I mean, people, you got to understand, like, even if you're using a cash account, right, what Carisha brings up is, or what Daniel brings up, I'm sorry, is actually a really good point. Oh, wait. No, what Carisha, I'm sorry, it is Carisha. What she brings up is actually a really good point in that, even if you use a cash account, you're still going to have to follow the T2 rule, which stands for transaction plus 2 days. And so you're going to have to wait 2 days after each trade for those funds from that trade to settle into your account. And so like say you have a $1,000 account and you're just using cash, but one trade you got into, you used $1,000 in equity. You're not going to be able to trade for 2 days. You're not going to be able to trade for 2 days because, you have to wait 2 days for each, for that settlement to happen. And so it used to be a T3 rule. It used to be you have to wait 3 days, but they changed it. But you're still going to have to wait a few days for your funds to settle, even with just a cash account. Hey, appreciate it, Daniel. Welcome, brother. Yeah, so you can avoid it, Daniel. Like you can avoid the PDT rule with just cash. With most brokers, you want to ask your broker to make sure, because some brokers, they're still going to make you follow it, even with a cash account. But most are going to let you trade as much as you want with a cash account. But like I said, you're going to have to wait for your funds to settle after each trade. So it just depends on how much money is in the account. If you have like a $5,000 account and you only trade $1,000 in equity every day, you'll probably be fine. But if you have $1,000 account and you trade $1,000 in equity every day, it's going to be very similar. Like it's going to be the equivalent of having to follow the PDT rule, because you're going to have to wait 2 days after each trade. What's up, Houston? All right, we got the intraday scans up. Let's get ready, guys. So SPY is up. CGC TLRY has been up the last day or so. CLVS is kind of filling the gap already. We got AMD up. We have a few other stuff. A few penny stocks are moving right now. What's up, Minster? All right, guys, let's do it. Like I said, gonna test this strategy out with AMD. All right, I'm ready. Yesterday, I kind of got filled at a worse spot for AMD, but we'll see what we get. I'm also going to be documenting the 1 minute range breakout. I did use the 1 minute range breakout and back tested that one, and it had a pretty good accuracy rate as well. So, let's see what we get today. Got to get ready to kind of document this. There's the bell. All right, we got AMD squeezing up here. And this is something that I'm also interested in kind of checking out because one thing I noticed is that whenever this first candle was like ridiculously large for AMD, then the strategy was not as successful. The strategy did not work as well whenever this first candle was huge, both 5 minute and 1 minute. And so it's interesting to watch to see what the strategy does. We have TLRY dropping, AXSM dropping. Overall, the SPY is, so far it's up a little bit. Let's put a 1 minute chart up here. All right, so we get that first breakout. So if we're looking at the 1 minute range breakout, this is where it would trigger right here. Okay, and so even if we're testing the 1 minute range breakout, so let's see what the range is, 2075 up to basically 21 here, very close to 21. So that would be about 25 cents is the first range, and so from 2075 to 2050 would be the profit target for the 1 minute range breakout. Kind of got close here, but not quite big enough. Needs to drop 8 more cents under this low here. So we'll see if that works. But the 1 minute range breakout was very accurate as well here. Let's just see how big this first 5 minute candle's looking. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing CGC drop. TLRY dropping some nicely there. SPY dropping. So we should get some follow through moves here, especially if the SPY is dropping. It just depends on what the SPY does overall. Cron dropping. SPY is completely reversing here. Yeah, I mean, the SPY's starting to reverse, so we'll see what we get with some of these. MU is looking strong. It's kind of consolidating right now, but it doesn't look terrible. AXSM continued to drop. Let's see what CLVS does today. I don't hate that one. Cron reversing some. So popping up on my scanners, ATOS. AMD kind of looks like a fade really here, but it just depends on what the overall SPY does. But it doesn't look terrible for a fade on AMD right here. It's just about where's risk. It's at 2080. Risk could be at 2093 or so. Maybe 21 if we're being loose. That would give us about a 20-cent risk. 37-cent reward. So not terrible here. But we're about to get the first candle break here. We'll see what we get it. Alright, so here's the first 5-minute candle. Alright, so that would be my entry with this one. Like I said, until it stops me out, I would have to let it trigger the risk. In order to stop me out. We'll see what we get here. SPY's kind of consolidating around that high though, so like if the SPY starts to reverse here, then this strategy could start to reverse as well. I don't know if I want to use a consistent shear size because something I have to think about is that whenever this big candle is ridiculously large, I want to have a consistent risk with it. So I might need to scale down if that's the case. But we're just going to let it keep going until 11 a.m. market time. That's kind of the plan with it. And we'll see how it goes. It's just testing, so no bias either way. If it works, great. If not, you know, that's fine too. I want to take maybe some at the first profit loss, or the first 1-to-1 area, which would be about 50 cents or so, from 99 down to 55. And so at that point, I'll take 500 off and then let the rest work. So at about 21.50s. But AMD ended up breaking up here. Glad I didn't get in that fade. Kind of the SPY is moving up, at least broke the high of the day. We'll see if it continues. Yeah, I saw the fade on MU. I just did, or on AMD. I just didn't want to risk it. We have some resistance here on AMD though at 21.20, but like I said, risk is from about 45 cents, so it'd be up at about 21.43 is where I'm looking for. Overall, it's not looking bad though. It's a pretty decent It's a pretty decent length away from my risk, and so at this point, just kind of testing it. SPY's up. And so if we have a green day on the SPY, then some of these might continue. It's just about what the SPY does. CGC running. So we had some fake outs today. CLVS doesn't look like a bad fade. I don't know if I want to really risk shorting when the market is squeezing like it is. So we'll see what we get. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I still would be able to take profits here. And this is why I'm just kind of being strict with testing. But it would have been a nice breakout so far. For sure. And maybe there's a way that I need to start analyzing to take profits a little bit sooner. I think I have to kind of stick at least to that 1-to-1 reward to risk, because I think in that case it needs to be, I need to recoup any losses that I make on this strategy with the success. And so I think I need to wait for it to get to at least 1-to-1, which like I said would be up at about 21.40 or so. It's at 21.20 now, so about right here is where I would take profits. And we'll see if we get there. You know, like I said, not trying to have bias. I'm just kind of watching. SPY kind of reversing a little bit here. But I just got to test it, and whatever happens, happens. Can't let what I want to happen sway what is actually happening. But we're definitely getting some green movement here, at least for most of these stocks. Yeah, for sure. That's why I said that range breakout looked like it worked well. So you would have gotten in short, right? Right. Yeah, it would have worked. All right, well, I'm 10 cents away from my profit target. Oh, yeah, you do the gap and go, right? I forgot about that. Todd. PCG is up. Interesting. DBD, Dropbox, right? No, that's not Dropbox. Yeah, but DBD starting to run, guys. DBD. Doesn't look bad. Cannabis stocks are kind of running up too. We're getting a lot of green movement. Just about what the SPY does, you know. See if it holds these gains, continues here. SPY reversing some here, so we may get a pullback here on AMD. Look for some other trades now that I'm kind of in this one. I just got to let it go to the levels I'm looking for. It's at 28. Like I said, I needed to get up to 48. Or not 48. I needed to get up to 40 before I take profits. SPY's kind of sideways right now. Look at CGC go. Beautiful washout log here. Washout log is actually another one I want to start back testing on. Big pullback on the SPY. Testing the VWAP now, so we may get a pullback on this one. What's up, John O? Good morning, man. But just looking at it, the rage breakout would have worked here, at least short. $0.25. 25 cents. So yeah, that would have worked. MU high. Yeah, MU, when I saw it last, it was just squeezing up big. Yeah, look at MU. Look at this one go. Big move here. I'm not seeing anything for my live money account. I'm not seeing anything I really want to trade right now. A lot of fake outs. AXSM may be the only one that's starting to drop. Look at this order on the ask. Crazy big order. 140,000 shares on the ask. Alright, we're in the 30s. Like I said, it gets up another 10 cents. It's a success. 34s. May run into that resistance right here, though, right here at 34. Like, if you look over, you see the resistance here. But MU, which is in the same sector, is just getting pushed up, and so that might actually help AMD at this point. But yeah, look, it ran into some resistance right here at that previous high. Big orders showing up on the ask on Thinkorswim. I'm not seeing them really on Tefs. Let's see. Yeah, I'm long paper trading the opening range breakout strategy. If it gets up to 40, that's where I take profits for the 1-to-1. It's at 33s now, so it's close. We'll see if we get there. It's got that big resistance here, though, on the daily chart. It's at 34. About whether it could break that, but big order showing up on the ask, and it keeps getting rejected. So 34 is turning into that major resistance that we're seeing on the chart. But like I said, MU, which is in the same sector, is squeezing up, which is good for AMD. Same thing with the market, kind of up some, or bouncing back some. Cron bouncing off the VWAP. Really pretty there, actually. Look at this VWAP bounce on Cron. Looked really nice. Beautiful VWAP bounce. Look at this bounce on Cron. WATT. Yeah, WATT squeezing. A lot of green right now. Look at this big orders on Thinkorswim. I wonder why these huge orders are just monstrous orders. Hundreds of thousands of shares showing up on the level 2 on Thinkorswim. Wonder what's going on. CGC squeezing. Not seeing any fades though today. Alright, so it's got to break this 34 level on AMD right here. $34s. Yeah, look at these huge orders show up on the level 2. Oh no, I bought more shares. I was actually trying to cover. There we go. No, I'm all the way out of the position. Okay, yeah, I'm still long 50. Okay, I wanted to take a partial there just because it has that resistance, and I think I can use that during the trades. And so I'm only holding 500 now because it has this resistance here, which I think makes sense. Like if you look all the way over, the previous pre-market high was right at 34 where it's at now. So taking a partial there is okay, I think. Yeah, SPY's down. Now it's just about whether the microchips start to go against the SPY. Now that the SPY is dropping like it is, it broke the low of the day, it's bouncing back up to test it. So now it's just about whether the microchips actually go against the SPY at this point. You know, it's very possible that they do, but at the same time, it's kind of risky looking at it against the SPY. But I've already taken one profit, which is fine on the paper trade. AXSM is pulling up. I was really thinking about it, but this squeeze up here is just a little bit too much. I didn't mind a risk of like 25 or so right there, which kind of nice confirmation there. It bounced right up to that level, but it's a little bit too late now for AXSM, but that is what I was looking at. It just started to squeeze up a little bit too much there. What's up, Richard? Good morning, man. I'll be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. Nice work, two-way. Good job, bro. Is anybody still long on AMD? Nice, Bill. Is anyone still buying AMD? I mean, I am holding it for testing the strategy up until noon market time. And so I'm still in it. The SPY rebounding nicely. Kind of a choppy day for the SPY. But the SPY bouncing back, so we should see these bounce back as well. And we should see a lot of upward movement. Days like today, I'm definitely not going to short. It didn't look bad shorting down there, but look at NBEV go. But at this point, unless the SPY starts to really look weak, I'm not going to be shorting anything right now. No, so I actually made the breaking out on volume scan myself. I usually try to make it a little bit bigger like that. But yeah, I actually made that one myself. I made a few of these myself. So look at NBEV go here. SAEX. Yeah, even with the volume it has, it's still pretty low volume, especially for like a cheaper stock. Yeah, SPY has a small range. That's what I said, just kind of choppy right now, the range in the SPY. AMD has a big announcement at 9 a.m. Uh-oh. Might kind of screw up my testing data. Yeah, it looks like it's halted for sure. Almost guaranteed to be halted right now. Speaking of SAEX. SPY running back up. Up a little bit at least. TECK popping up on the scanners. PDD, which is a stock I have traded before. PDD popping up on the scanners. KWEB, never heard of that one, popping up on the scanners. But here's AMD testing that high of the day. It's got to break that level though. Like, you can look here and see that it was that major support here. So we'll see if it holds support there. But yeah, this would have been a successful one instance of it already, which is nice to see. So that's 2 days in a row so far. Really good paper trading results from it. Yeah, SPY just started moving. The SPY just really started moving right now. It just broke the high of the day. It's up to 258 on the SPY. But yeah, this would have finally been a successful strategy. Yeah, that strategy would have worked really nicely again. I'm telling you, the back testing results were pretty accurate with the strategy. Let's see where I got in this one. 2099. And the good news is that, like, if you take profits at that 1-to-1 level, you could essentially let the rest work for close to break even. on the rest of the day. GBR. I think GBR is a crypto stock, right? Maybe it's an energy stock. Nice work, Enduro. Good job, brother. Yeah, if that's true as well, I'm not going to be in a position. Let me see. Yeah, I don't want to be in this either if AMD makes an announcement. Let's look at AMD's Twitter. Let's look this up real quick because I really want to know, because I got about 3 minutes to like see if this is actually going to make an announcement, because that's one of those things. It kind of probably is a rule I need to make, that if any of them are making announcements, I need to just get out. Who's the one that said that AMD was making an announcement? Show yourself. It's good news though. We'll see. But already AMD had a nice little 5-minute VWAP bounce here. Let's look at the 1-minute chart on AMD. Maybe shows me some more information. Yeah, I think this is looking a little bit weaker. Okay, so the CEO of AMD is going to make a speech at CES. Interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to let the rest... I'm going to stick to the plan, because the overall goal isn't to profit. It's just a back test and to test the strategy out. And so I'm just going to stick to the plan, hold it to 11, and unless it breaks my entry level. I think that's a reasonable approach to take with this strategy, is that I can hold it, the rest break even. Like if it breaks my entry level, I can get out and just profit what I took profits on already. And so I think that's a reasonable way to approach it. AXSM would have faded nicely, but I don't know if I would have traded it. CLVS, faked people out. Roku squeezing big. While we're here, if anybody's interested in using TradeNet, which is the broker I'm using, TradeNet's actually having their New Year's sale going on right now, so they're 20% off sale, and so you get 20% off TradeNet packages. So if you want to go through my link, you get 20% off. So the intro package, I think, is like $400. It might be like $399 now, which is pretty cheap, because with the intro package, you actually get $700 to lose, and so you're actually getting an extra $300 to lose. Versus what you're paying for it. And so it's a pretty good deal. So if you want to check that out, I just posted the link. It's the jump to click link. Go check them out. I make a commission from it. It's one of the ways I always keep this live stream free. And so if you're interested in signing up to TradeNet and you appreciate this content, you can go through my link. I appreciate it if you do. But do your research. Nice, Daniel. Good work, brother. Good work, man. Alright, so it's 9 a.m. Let's see what we get here. Hey, I know they get you set up pretty quick, Joe. Like I usually each time I've had a trade dead account, my account sent to me within like 2 days. I have my funded account, so it's actually pretty quick. A lot of people ask me that, and I always tell them like, look, they'll get you your account pretty quick. What I always tell them is like, hey, look, like I just want the live account, you know. Oh, it's 10 a.m. I keep thinking it's 9 a.m. my time. Like if you can see my clock down here, it's actually you can't. But if you look up here, like it's 9 a.m. my time, and so I'm in Central Time. So I was thinking 9 a.m. But you're right. It's that was an hour ago. All right, what time is that in my time, T America? What time is that market time? I guess it would probably be an easier way to put it. Okay, so it's 11 a.m. Central Time. All right, so we still got a little bit of time. Yeah, I'm not seeing much to trade though on with fades or anything like that. I see kind of a fade with AXSM, but aside from that, I don't see much I really like. CLVS kind of back up to the VWAP here. No, Gavin. It's not. You basically have to just get another account. I know you can have two intro accounts and I think unlimited amount of student accounts, but yeah, you can't deposit or anything. At least from what I know, reach out to them is probably the best thing. But from what I know, I don't think you can. SAEX resumes. Yeah, look at S. Wow, look at how much SAEX just gapped up from that halt. It was halted, stopped at 316. It's up to 350. It resumed at 350, or let's see, what was that? 355 is where it opened back up. So crazy move. But yeah, look at these orders on Thinkorswim. I'm getting like 68,000 share orders, a bunch of big orders showing up on level 2, and then 50,000 orders showing up on the bid. Weird. So big orders are flashing on Thinkorswim that don't flash on TEFs. That's interesting. Yeah, usually it's a great thing, Carisha. Like usually it's a really good thing if you get halted on the way up and you're long. Sometimes it's not. I mean, I've seen times where it just completely goes against the person in it, but a large majority of the time, I would say, if you get halted on the way up, then you're fine. All right, so like I said, if this breaks my entry here at 21, I'm out. I think that's the reasonable way to approach this trade. So I let it work until 11. If it breaks my entry, I'll get out. I think that's reasonable, especially that it broke this level here and it's starting to look weaker. Yeah, of course. The market is constantly changing. That's why, the reason I started to backtest this strategy is because um, the reason I started to backtest this strategy is because, the fade didn't work as well. It just didn't work as well as it used to. The fade used to work extremely well, and lately, especially with, some of these moves with the SPY and the overall market, the fade just hasn't been working as well. And so when that kind of happens, it's time to kind of move on and search for new strategies. And so that's kind of what I'm doing here. I always backtest each strategy I use. Nice, Todd. Good work, bro. All right, Todd. Sounds good, bro. Yeah, AMD had a little bit of a double top on the 1 minute. Not quite. This top was a little bit higher, but looked weak for sure. And one of the benefits of paper trading it like this is just to see how I would approach the trade. And now I'm kind of learning, like, I can let the rest work break even. If it gets to my first profit level, I can take a profit there and then let the rest work up into my entry level here at 21. And that way, you know, I still make money. But if it breaks my entry, I'm not going to lose money on the trade. I know. Don't you see that, John? You see the huge orders on Thinkorswim? I didn't know if I was the only one that was seeing those monster orders. Um, what do you think of the fact that AMD has been bought for basically 11 days in a row? I mean, yeah, I think that. I mean, look at. I mean, on the third, it wasn't bought. Third had a big red day. Yeah, SPY's choppy today. Usually a little bit more at risk on days like today. I'm not comfortable finding many short positions today with how the SPY's been acting. The U.S. issued a statement on the trade talk with China. Yeah, the SPY was kind of choppy for the first little bit yesterday. It kind of made up its mind towards the end of the day, or after the first 15 minutes or so. But it had a pretty big red day all the way up until 11 a.m. or so. Really up until about 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. But HIMX, SAEX, HUSA. Nice two-way, good work, bro. You're an ADIO, Carisha. I mean, I don't want to say yes or no for it. It's just, it's not really my style. The volume's just a little bit too low for me. The daily chart doesn't look bad, but the volume is just a little bit too low for me for this one. I appreciate the sub, Sade. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Nice, Patrick. Good work, brother. That's my chair squeaking, if you're wondering what that noise is. TLRY kind of breaking under the VWAP. SPY starting to push back up here. So it continues to move. But yeah, that announcement AMD actually works out fine. Like, with considering that I may be stopped out before that point. But if I'm not, that's perfect timing because that's where I plan to exit anyways, 11 a.m. As long as it doesn't hit my risk here. So 21 is where I'll get out now. That's my risk. That's break even on the rest of the shares that I have. So and like I said, TradeNet is having their New Year's sale going on right now. And so basically the way TradeNet works is that it's very similar to like a prop firm. You know, you pay for a package, you pay for it, it's not a deposit. And with that, you get a certain amount of buying power. With the intro package, you pay like $500 typically, and you get $14K in buying power with the $700 max loss. But with the sale going on right now, instead of $500 for the intro package, it is $400. So you're getting 20% off, which is a pretty good deal, I think. Pretty cheap, and you're getting $700 to lose because there's a $700 max loss. And so not too bad here. But if anybody's interested in using them, you can go through my link. I'll post it now. All right, big orders popping up here. And like I said, if it breaks 21, that's fine. I'm getting out, and it's still a green day. I don't think I have a 2-minute chart set up, but I kind of use 1 minute and 5 minute. Let me see. I can throw a 2-minute up here. I haven't used a 2-minute chart in a while. I used to. Like I said, I think if it finds support at 21, it looks okay. If it doesn't, then it looks weak. If it breaks under this previous high right here, it looks weak. So it's just going to find support at 21. Kind of in a consolidation move here. SPY kind of choppy too, though, which is kind of what we get. SPY kind of up, down, up, down. All right, this is where I got to be pretty careful here. Very, very close to stopping me out on these last shares. Threes. Twos. Got to be very, very careful here, like I said. See if it bounces off of 21. Yeah, these big orders are keeping it down. There's got big orders popping up on the level too. Two, 1, 0. Alright, so I'm out. $120 gain on my second day of paper trading. Not a bad result, you know, with 1,000 shares, that's not too bad. Especially if it starts to reverse here. And so I'll take it. Not too shabby here. But I was able to get out for 1-to-1 on that first reward target and then let the rest work, getting out the rest at break even. So not bad. I'll take it. Another successful day. It's still profitable. Of course, it's not a big of a winner as yesterday, because yesterday we let it work all the way until 11 a.m. And so we just got much better reward to risk yesterday, all the way up until 11 a.m. And so today, much worse day, worse looking day, but it's still fulfilled. Yeah, so Isaac, I'm testing this opening range breakout strategy. I made if you haven't seen the video I put up yesterday, watch it. You know, that's kind of what I'm doing. Is I'm testing the opening range breakout for a few weeks. I back tested and got really good results. I'll post that video if anybody wants to see it. But yeah, Isaac, if you haven't seen it, this is the video. It's just me back testing the this opening range breakout strategy that I've been talking about. But yeah, it kind of explains what I'm doing here. Rustlin. So the TradeNet package is, I mean, it's I don't. There's not really a time frame on it. I think there's a time frame that you have to make a certain amount by a year, but by 12 months from when you signed up. But there's most of it is like revolves around. There's a max loss, right? So there's like a $700 max loss. The sale ends this month, so the sale's only for a week or two. But there's a max loss that is more important than the time frame. I wasn't trying to troll. I was just trying to show you. Open it up in a new window is what you do, Isaac. Just put it in a new window. All right, so these are the results so far from back testing. Let me find it. There it is, paper results. All right, so all right, so yesterday I pulled about $600, and then today $120 from this strategy. And so we're just gonna keep moving forward and keep testing it. But yeah, if you want the TradeNet link, Rustlin, there it is. But yeah, it's been working pretty well. I mean, like I said, even if you, like, just to show you guys, I don't think I'm going to trade today just because I don't really see any fades. Nothing's really working well. Maybe some bounces and some washout longs, which kind of fake out fades. The only one that looks somewhat interesting is CLVS here. The reason CLVS looks interesting is because I can essentially use some of this area here at 24.50 as my reward risk area. The only problem is that the reward target would have to be, maybe 23.60, 23.75. So it'd still be good risk to reward, but I just don't know if I trust it now. It's kind of going sideways. You've always heard to wait for 3 candles for the opening range breakout. Yeah, I don't know. I think people approach it differently. I approach it with, like I said, like you let it form an opening range with the first 5-minute candle. So you document the high and low, and then you wait for it to break that high or low, trying to get the equivalent of that first candle as your reward target. That's kind of always how I approached it, but I've heard people say 3 candles as well. I think it just depends on if those 3 candles stay in the same range. I don't think it matters how many candles. I think it's just You know, if, for instance, like if the first candle forms this range and then the second candle stays within that range and then the third candle breaks that range, that's when you enter. You know, I think that's when people use 3. But yeah, so far results are good. 2 profitable days with the strategy. I should probably document the thoughts I have on it. And the beautiful thing about the way that we approach it is that days like yesterday, when it actually does stay on that in that downward momentum, or it continues in the breakout direction up until 11, you're getting huge risk to reward in this. Like in this, you're getting like 4-to-1 risk to reward. So you're getting much bigger gains. Where today I got about 1-to-1. But days that it does work out successfully, like AMD did, you're getting so much bigger reward versus your risk that it kind of has to be profitable in the long run if you keep at it, and as long as the accuracy rate is still as high as it showed. So how do you get paid if you make money using TradeNet? So they allow 1 withdrawal per month. Casey, one of our stream and class members, actually tested a withdrawal with TradeNet, and he tested the withdrawal on December 10th, and he received his money on December 19th, so in 9 days. And from what he said, he didn't have any problems with it, that he got his money within 9 days, so a little bit over a week. So he said it was pretty quick, and he said it was easy to do. You can only do 1 withdrawal per month, though. Yeah, for sure. This new strategy works, man. You know, and Gavin said it works from TradeNet as well. Nice. Yeah, they pay out. I've never like I get trolls in here that are like, yeah, me and my 10 friends signed up for TradeNet and they never paid, and it's obviously like they're just lying to try to find a reason to hate on TradeNet and start drama. But from people that I actually know, I've never heard of anybody not getting paid on TradeNet. And to me, that's the only thing that matters, is whether they pay. No, I don't have a deal for Trade Ideas, Rick. Um, yeah, I don't have a deal. I just have the link they give me, you know. But yeah, Samuel, I'm liking the strategy as well, man. Like I said, you know, even if it reverses and heads back up today, that's fine because I'm minimizing my risk here. But the strategy seems to be working fairly well. I think it's definitely promising, and it has. I'm definitely interested in the strategy at this point. We'll just see whether it continues to work. Like I said, I'm going to paper trade it for a week at least, see what my results are. If I have really good results, then I can move on to live money. But I feel like I need to paper trade it first, kind of find the nuances of the trade that I like to do. Like today, I figured I can take a partial at 1-to-1 and then let the rest go to my entry. And we'll see how that works out. But I think that's the benefit of paper trading, is that it kind of lets you test different thought process and trade ideas within that strategy. Um, what's the strategy called? It's just an opening range breakout, Jordan. It's just an opening range breakout. You know, you document the range of that first 5 minute candle, wait for it to break that, giving yourself a 1-to-1 reward to risk target. And then the way I approach it is that once I take a profit at 1-to-1, I let the rest work until 11 a.m. market time, as long as it doesn't trigger my exit here. Um, so I don't understand. I thought we answered that already, Pablo. What are you talking about? Explain. What do you mean by that? I mean, look, I was looking at this. I was laughing at what Todd said, but no, I was looking at this. Like CLVS looked like a good fade with the risk of 24.50 up here. You know, realistically though, you're. I only feel comfortable with the risk of 23.80 or a reward target of 23.88, and so it would have worked out, but the risk reward wasn't great. I guess you could use down here to give yourself 2-1, but I think that's a little bit less likely. But we'll see. That's the only one that I really saw today. But aside from that, with the market doing what it's doing, I just don't know if I'm trying to short anything right now. Except for a few select stocks that just drop. AXSM also looked kind of like a good fade. Yeah, I think that's probably about it for today, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close it down. I'll be posting an update video on the strategy I'm using and stuff like that. So be sure to go check that out. But yeah, I'll be posting an update video on everything I'm doing right now and kind of updating on the strategy and how I chose to approach it. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. If you haven't already, guys, hit that subscribe button. I day trade live on stream every weekday morning, starting at 8:40 market time. So make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you appreciate this content, you like watching me trade live every day, click the like button right now on this video. And I definitely appreciate that support. If you could click the like button right now, really, really appreciate it. It does help support the channel. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Also, like I said, TradeNet's having their sales. So again, if you're interested in checking them out, you can go through their link and get 20% off the intro package. It's one of the ways I keep the stream free, and so if you want to help support the channel, you can go through my link. I appreciate it if you do. But yeah, guys, good luck for the rest of the day. I'll see you all tomorrow morning. But yeah, another green day for the opening range breakout strategy. So we'll see. We'll just let it continue, and hopefully we can, you know, have a good week with it and move on to some big money next week. So we'll see how it goes. Later, guys. Have a good day. We'll see you all a little bit later.